the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Today, we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. First down, Barnhart, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. It looks like a loss of right around 11 there on first down to set him back on second. Well, if they have any thoughts of coming in here and getting this road victory, that's not the way to start it out on the first play of the game.
Yeah, one thing you always say when you go on the road, take the crowd out of the game. They actually brought the crowd into it by permitting that sack right out of the gate.
To throw on second down. Barnhart, pass caught. It's Romeo Doubs. Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. Touchdown, Packers. Boy, Charles, this offense is just so explosive. They lead the league in scoring, and another example of just how good they are right there on that play.
Yeah, we often overstate about how explosive teams are, but this team is truly a threat to score on every snap, especially on the first few plays of any series. And a big streak like that only adds to their reputation as the league's best offense.
Jason Sanders set to kick off.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Cost him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And some space here. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers. And they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11. Well, the Vikings at 2-3 here to begin the new season. They come in losers of 2 straight, so trying to turn things around here.
And you just mentioned 2 straight, and when you're talking about 2 games, that's nothing to panic about. They feel like they've been a little bit unlucky in the last couple. This is a club that's more than capable of turning things around, and I expect them to play really well here.
4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8. This defense for the Packers, they put together a strong effort last week in the win over Chicago.
And how'd you like to be the quarterback reviewing the game tape from last week and seeing this defense on the spot on almost every snap? If the ball was in the air, they took it away.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
A good return there, 17 yards. And it'll be Packer football here, first down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
So, Charles, you look at this offense. So what a start to the season. 5 wins without a loss. When do you think that you start believing that maybe you're in the midst of something special?
Well, you and I both know every head coach never wants that thought to creep into a locker room. But the truth of the matter is, not quite at this time, because if we look at the Steelers in 2020, they're a great example. Remember, they started 11-0, then lost 5 of 6 and went out in the first round. But I think if you get toward mid-November, the Thanksgiving time frame, and you're still doing this, that's when things start to get real for a ball club.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Brian Asamoah drops him for a loss of 10, and it's going to be 4th and long. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. This is taken at about the 14. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. A great return there, bobbing and weaving his way for 31 yards. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And they are a game under 500 now following the loss a week ago. And this is a team, Charles, that just has not been able to string victories together.
Yeah, they're certainly going the wrong way, aren't they? Because it looks like they have things pointing in the right direction, but now they've lost 2 straight, and that means this game is vital, extremely important, because if they fall 2 games below 500, the road back into playoff contention, awfully difficult.
A run there with Cook not going to accomplish much. Call it no gain. 2nd down coming up. These 2 teams, they met up earlier in the year, back in week 2. And it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home. Oh, they'll run it here on the Jets sweep.
Well, they gave up a few yards there, but all in all, I think it's a pretty nice job defensively against the Jets sweep. If they don't slow him up, he might take it to the house, so they'll take that play every time on the defensive side of the ball.
And they'll need to get to the 35 if they want to keep this drive going on 3rd down. Back to throw. Corcoran. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss. On 4th down, Dom Maggio out to punt. This will be taken at the 10. Found good room to run there. Returns it 14 yards. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'd be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that can put your team in some jeopardy? So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Throwing on 1st down. Barnhart looking deep downfield. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Operating from the gun. Barnhart. Pressure comes and down he goes. Ryan Asamoah. Now 2 sacks for him already here in this first quarter of play.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's 3 sacks now, and this team came into the game in the bottom 5 in the league in sacks.
Yeah,
what's going on?
It's not been their bread and butter. I don't know. Is a blind squirrel finding a nut, or is this something they can build on?
Well, they found some momentum. They found a crack in that offensive line, and they're putting it to good use.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. On 4th down, Matt Ariza is sent on to punt. This is taken at the 10. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd.
He rifles one that's intercepted. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward. And power running here down to the 6-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run. 8 yards the tally on that 1st down run. Here's 2nd and 2. Looking to throw. Barnhart got his tight end. That's complete. That's McKinney. And the Packers are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1. And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play, and that makes it easier for the quarterback. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Green Bay touchdown. A.J. Dillon with his 4th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Packers go up by 2 touchdowns. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that'll make the score 14-0.
14. Vikings nothing. Jason Sanders set to kick
now
off.
after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And this will be returned from deep in the end zone. And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line.
27-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
They run again on 1st down. Cook. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. When coaches stress their defense being physical, they don't just mean the big guys. How about the guys on the outside, the cornerbacks? It's not just their job to patrol the airspace. They can get involved in the run game as well. On 2nd down, Cook. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
on a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
My first thought is surprise, because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
So look at this. Here's the field goal unit coming out, and he is going to need to bomb this one. They spot it on the midfield stripe, so it is a 60-yard attempt here. And this one is right down the middle.
Charles, even as long field goals become more and more common, this is still a very rarefied air. Only just over 20 field goals have been kicked from 60 yards or further, and you can add his name to the list now.
And as calm as he tried to present himself, there's no doubt there were some nerves as he lined up to attempt that kick. But once the ball was snapped, he just swept the leg and boom, over the crossbar.
They're on 17-yard line.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. The offense running out, and they are charged up, ready to go after reaching the end zone on their last drive.
And normally I'd warn against getting complacent just because they scored the last time out. But I don't think there's any worries with this group right now. This is a hungry group, and they want to keep building off of their last drive. Now they just want the officials to hurry up and place the ball so they can snap it and get back to work.
On 2nd down, Dillon. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
On 1st down, they look downfield, and it's complete. Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 38. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Ford. And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Off-play action. Barnhart. He's going to sling this deep downfield. He's got Watson. It's caught. Touchdown, Packers. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to push that lead out a bit further. Sanders now to add the extra point. And it's 21-3.
He is good. Makes the score Packers 21, Vikings 3.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. From deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20.
At their own 20-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And this, let's face it, an important drive if they're going to get back into this ballgame.
Think about going into the locker room down 21-10 as opposed to 21-3. 21-10, a little more optimism, a little more bounce around the locker room, a little more discussion about how they're going to finish this thing off. 21-3, I think discouragement clouds that locker room.
Yeah, and I think a touchdown much bigger than a field goal on this drive just to get into the end zone and get that momentum. Second down, they go right back to Cook. And he will fight his way forward to about the 23-yard line. They follow up the 1st down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
The Packers bringing in an extra member of the secondary here to try for the third down stop. Back to throw. Corcoran. Packer pressure, and down he goes. Rashawn Gary has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. Here's Dom Maggio now. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Take it at the 37. 46 yards on the boot. The coverage holds him to just 3 on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They've had a very solid first half, and as we near the end of that first half, they're just looking for a little more on top of their lead right now.
And when you put together a game plan on offense, you put together what you think is going to be the best possible scenario, right? Hey, we're going to score. These are the plays that are going to do it. But you also put together your counters, meaning after they make adjustments to what you're doing, what do we have to go to next?
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Exactly. So I can't wait to see if we come out of the half, how they're going to go about doing things. Do you just keep running what you ran before, or do you go to your counters expecting those adjustments to happen?
Before that, we'll see the end here of this first half. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to look deep down the field. Now the defense loses him. It's complete. Touchdown, Packers. A great effort there. 74 yards. And the Packers are able to add on to their first half lead. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the rout is on here in this first half.
Vikings 3. Jason Sanders set to kick off.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 28-yard line, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone gets him 3 more.
Their own 28-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And with the score where it is, even though I think they'd love to get back to the locker room, they may be forced to try and get something out of this drive. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Corcoran. He finds his man. Complete. It's Weber. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. It looks like the Packers have added an extra DB on 3rd down. Operating from the gun. Corcoran. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. Dom Maggio sent on now to punt it away. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. 47-yard punt, a return of 4. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And with a huge lead already, they may be thinking, hey, our job's complete for these first 2 quarters. Let's get this to the locker room. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. So we've come to halftime here with the visiting Packers out on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. The Vikings set to receive the second half kickoff, and they trail it here as we resume play. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone.
The Vikings take over first and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
The CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And partner, you know, as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Off the play fake. Corcoran. That's complete to Justin Jefferson. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. Well, that's one way to convert on 3rd down, picking up 26 yards.
Well, still in the 3rd quarter here. Now, you look at the scoreboard, that deficit probably a little too much to overcome, but completions like that may be something to build on for future weeks.
Yeah, it's all about ending things on a strong note here, isn't it? Because my mindset is it's a new ball game from here to the end. Make sure it's a good one and close it out.
He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
A 3rd down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And the Packers are going to have it here at their own 32-yard line.
Partner, I see you reaching for the white flag. Put it down. I don't want you throwing it, but I understand why. Because if you do, you're hoping they might actually stop this game because we're in blowout territory right now. That interception just surrendered any momentum they built up in the locker room during halftime. So game plan, it's in the garbage. Time to try something new in this one.
Slant route, he's got Dobbs. And they're going to get this up to midfield.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
They'll run on 1st down with Akers. And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50.
But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Marked that down for a win in the defense's column.
Now here's a throw that's complete.
And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
They'll try and run for this with Akers. And he's going to get this inside the 30. It's a gain of 12, and the Packers have the first.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material.
Now a throw here, hauled in. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. So nothing doing there. And that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly.
This is caught. It's Christian Watson.
And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a 1st down.
1st down, Packers.
They give to Dillon out of the gun.
And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop it right around the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Brings up 2nd and 12 at the 13-yard line.
Operating from the gun, Barnhart. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Ford. So the completion results there in 9 yards. And now it's 3rd and 3.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the 1st.
From the gun on 3rd down. Barnhart.
He'll get this to Akers out of the backfield.
Touchdown! Cam Akers from 4 yards out.
And the Packers are pouring it on.
Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders.
This will be returned from deep in the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one.
At their own 18-yard line.
Ready up!
They start the drive with Cook. And this one will go to the 28-yard line.
77 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before that he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
And he is going to lose yardage here. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. They get 14 there. 1st down, Vikings.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
Let's go!
First down, here's the run with Cook. And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll, in fact, tackle him behind the line. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Again, it's Cook. A nice job there as he rumbles for 9. And it'll be back to a 3rd and 3.
That was a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far.
Picked off by Avonte Maddox.
And the Packers are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, Bob, because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to...
Now the pressure comes, and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. He couldn't get away. He'll wind up losing a dozen yards, a 12-yard loss, and it brings up third. And this offense on third down today, they've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This will be third and a mile. Operating from the gun, Barnhart. He hits Dobbs on the crosser. An incredible play there. They do get big yardage, but they're still stopped a yard or two short, and it's fourth down. On now is the Packers punter as he's on to kick it away. This is taken at the 15. A pretty good punt, but a nice 13-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side of this one. 2 yards the loss, second and 12.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
To throw on second down. Corcoran, going for Jefferson downfield. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And the Packers are going to take over here up near the 40. Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road and help seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
The CD, they're up big, but they're still passing it. I mean, this is an offense that's had a lot of success in this game, and it seems like they're just having fun out there.
And it does feel like there's been a shift out there, doesn't it, partner? Listen, if you're up, you can continue to do what you want to do. It's up to the other team to make you change how you do things. They'll continue to throw it around until stopped.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
A big kick that time, 52 yards. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the 4th quarter. This would be their 3rd straight defeat. Now a throw downfield is taken in by his running back. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. A big pickup of 38. Defensively, I know they have the comfortable lead here in the 4th, but they do not want to give up big plays like that.
They want to finish strong. So oftentimes in this situation, you tighten up underneath in your coverage and you bring your safeties back. They can pick up anything that leaks through. But in the meantime, upfield, you're making plays on the football.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Jair Alexander.
And the Packers are going to take possession here at their own 33.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Throwing to start the drive. Barnhart. Throw right side, hauled in by Dobbs. All that for a 2-yard gain, second down.
Everyone has their strengths, able to move to their right or their left, being able to throw the football. So that means you've got to work on both because you never know which way you're going to get flushed by pressure. In this situation, able to escape to his left and makes an accurate throw.
Looking to throw on second down. Barnhart completes it again to Dobbs. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
There's a beautiful throw there, and he's been sensational the entire game, moving it around, spreading it, hitting the right guys. And look, under normal situations, partner, I would expect him to come out of the game now. They've got it in hand. But you and I have been around this league a long time, and every time we ask head coaches about it, hey, why don't you take your quarterback out when the game's in hand? They just kind of give us that look like, that's what he's paid to do. So it's a very unusual situation. I'd want him out. They tend to leave him in. Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. They follow up the gain of 2 with a gain of 1 that time.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the first down marker is here on third. They run once more with Dillon. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth. On now is the Packers punter. He's been terrific so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
Facing a big fourth-quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense has really struggled.
Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Coming right, this is Cook on the toss play. And forget that 100-yard rushing game, at least for the moment, as he'll lose yardage here and fall back under the century mark for the game. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game.
We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down.
On third down, Corcoran. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And now here is another interception.
And the Packers are going to get the football here as he gets this up past the 20-yard line.
Yes, folks, that is his 3rd interception, and I'm going to use one of the most overused phrases in football. He's a ball-hawking safety.
I love the way that you called for the shot there. That's perfect, though, because there is something to that. Being a safety often allows you freedom to roam around the defense, maybe not a specific assignment. Today, his assignment, find the football, and he's done so quite well.
So it's all over. A Green Bay victory, and it was their